This episode of Inside Running Podcast is proudly brought to you by Aid Station, Australia and New Zealand's leading online store for all things endurance, sports, nutrition and accessories. Whether you're a seasoned pro or training for your first event, Aid Station has you covered for running, triathlons and anything else that gets you moving. Your road to the finish line starts here. Head to aidstation.com.au.
Welcome to episode number 345 of the Inside Running Podcast. A massive thanks for tuning into the show. We've got a big one for you tonight. Oceania Champs to talk about. A bit of action in the NCAA Championships, European Championships, a few kind of local races, a few in the US, New York. Drug news. It's a bit going on here, Croaks, on this agenda. Well done for getting this ready for the night. Listen to question, moose on the loose, all the other things you come to expect on the Inside Running Podcast each and every week. Welcome to my co-host. He's up in Canberra looking at some results today. The guy who finished 16th at the 2006 Sydney Track Classic over 1,500 metres. Bradley Croker, welcome to you. Joined us from Canberra.
Thanks, Brady.
Now, listeners might be like,
dug deep for that one.
Hey, they're thinking 16th's not that good, but for a bit of context, it's hard to get into Sydney Track Classic kind of races. So the fact that you were there, I was impressed with.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how I got into that one. I don't think 2006 was a great year for me.
An agent. You would have had your agent back then.
That's who you know what. Not watching no Croaks in this industry.
I wouldn't have run real quick.
Yeah, I don't know the result. I didn't go that far. My other co-host is down in Anglesea. I've gone back into his race results as well. Guy finished 12th in his debut marathon, ran 2:27 at the Melbourne Marathon back in 2009. Julian Spence, welcome to you.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, just remembering those days. I had a bit of a flashback then to the shoes that I wore in the training in leading up to that race.
Well, just looking through it, well, tell me what the shoes are first. What pair of shoes were they?
They're a pair of Newton Distance, they're called.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like the full-on barefoot, like zero drop sort of things. They had big lugs in the forefoot. They were real Craig Alexander was wearing them, and he was just the greatest triathlete of all time. So why wouldn't you wear them?
Yeah, okay. And we're just talking about some of your raw ability. Like, you must have had a bit of natural talent because you were kind of running 14:35 in your first ever 5K track races as well. Not knowing what you were doing, kind of not taking running very seriously.
No, I just used to follow a couple of blokes that I knew. Like, I'd just get on the track and I'd be like, there's Sean Kravitz, or he was one of the guys I used to run with. I'm like, I know he's better than me. He'll be in front. There's Ryan Christian. I kind of knew him at the time, just real briefly. And I thought, I'd like to beat you. And then I just would go out there and just try and beat them. And that day I did beat Sean. It's the first time I reckon I ever beat him in training or anything. He just used to towel me up all the time. And so that was a good feeling.
Yeah, sure it was. We might also have a guest popping in throughout the episode as well. So hopefully just working with Zach behind the scenes. He's doing some producing for us to try and tee up a guest. I don't want to say the name yet, just in case it doesn't work out. But
no, we have to have had this guy on before.
On the show before?
Yeah, we have to.
Oh, I get it. That's a lame dad joke, but I get it. And I enjoyed it now. But I didn't get it the first time, but the second time I got it. Now I hope the listeners have got it.
Croaks hasn't got it.
Still gone over Croaks' head. You have to have got that joke, haven't you, Croaks?
I've got it, yeah.
Right. Let's go to some training weeks. We'll go with you first, Moose. You put some Ks together.
Oh, nearly hit 100. Nearly got there, but didn't quite. Well, I'm not sure why. Excuse me. Probably I didn't know where I was tracking all week. And then I got to Sunday night and I'm like, oh, I wonder if I hit 100. Hit 97 with a good long run. So I was pretty happy about my week. Did a session too, fellas. That's not like you guys would have liked that. Bit of a session. But Monday, I ran with a pram and a dog. Oh, that could be the week before, actually. Sorry about this.
That's all right. I'm just loading yours up at the moment as well.
It was the week before. So yeah, Monday I only did 6.5K. So just a recovery after the Sunday long run. Tuesday got out for an hour. Did a nice little run around Anglesey. Went out down to the end of the coal mine. It's been beautiful running conditions at the moment. Then on Wednesday morning I was heading off to Melbourne, so I decided to go and do a long run. A workout. So I'm just pulling this. I just did a 4K warm up with the dog. Then I changed shoes into the On Cloudboom Strike. There's a shoe that's coming out later this year, and I decided to do 10 by 1 minute on, 1 minute off. There was no pace goal here. The only effort goal was to make it feel smooth. I'm still just rolling the stopwatch on my Garmin. I don't have any screens to show. And so the ons weren't anything special, let me tell you. 328, 324, 321, 323, 305, geez, not bad. 306, good. 319, no good. 330, 305, and 320. So kind of all over the shop. I was running.
You were running downhill.
Yeah.
305s and 306s.
That makes my 330 feel better.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, maybe you should go for the gradient adjusted paces, Moose.
Yeah, no, the first one's worse.
Yeah.
So we only use them when we want to, not when. Oh, yeah, there's a couple of better ones. Anyway.
I'd say you're averaging around sort of 315s if you're factoring in the gradients.
About that. It wasn't fast. It felt real clunky. But once I got going, I enjoyed it. Just a real good blow. Haven't sucked them in that much in a long time. And I haven't turned the legs over that fast either. So I was quite happy with that. Not the paces, obviously, but just the fact that I logged a workout. That's what I was mainly happy about. And the shoes felt good. We won't go into them too much because they're not released yet. I'm not sure how much I can say, but another good option coming up for the fast runners out there. And then that afternoon went into Melbourne and went to the Nike Pacific Running Summit. So this was it was a summit. This was like a little baby version of the Paris event to a degree. Is that Nike's sort of directive is to get back in the community, and they brought a lot of the running community together here to tell them that they were getting back in the community, and these are sort of the things that they might be doing going forward. At the same time, they're launching the Nike Pegasus 41, which is obviously a staple in their lineup. And I haven't really liked the last batch of them, or the last probably 3 or 4 models, but I really did enjoy the 41. So there's they use a new foam. It's more cushioned through the rear foot. The forefoot's still pretty firm for someone who likes that in touch with the ground type feel, like nothing mushy underfoot and no big high stack stuff that's flooding the market at the moment. The fit's better in this than the previous ones, more generous. And there's a wider surface area underfoot, so it feels more stable too. That's the takeaways from the Peg 41. So yeah, on Wednesday, headed in, we got kitted out at the start. They give us a choice. We could go and sort of choose a running, like shorts, t-shirt, jacket, and then like a race kit, like a race short or a race tight, and a race singlet. And then we got a cool backpack as well, I really like the backpack. I think it's awesome. That afternoon we went out for a run with the group, the summit. So there was there was different groups there. So we were part of specialty retail group. Then there was sort of the bigger retail group in general, like they represented, the Rebel Sports, probably Athlete's Foot, that kind of thing. Then they had the run community, I guess you'd call it, like coach some run crew people there, some running coaches. Who was there from Run to PB? Brady, you would have had someone there.
Well, Zaka was there, but I'm not sure what hat he was wearing.
Yeah, it was an inside running hat.
Okay.
So he was there with the media crew because they got looked after that little bit better than everyone else.
I heard
They
that.
got-
Looked after well.
Pampered. So good for him. He enjoyed that. You could tell he was very happy with himself rolling around, connecting, making friends. And I ran around Olympic Park in the afternoon. So we did a few laps. They had a DJ set in the corner. Skepmore or something. I don't know. Someone knew it, but that was very loud as you ran through the corner, like pumping bass. And yeah, it's just it's probably not my jam, but it's creating a bit of mood. A couple of people did workouts as part of the run. I thought that was impressive. Just finish a day, didn't even plan it, but go and punch a fartlek run around Olympic Park while everyone else jogs. So I ended up getting 9K, so that's a big double that day. Then slept in the hottest hotel room I've ever slept in my whole life. Got about an hour's sleep. Woke up, raided the minibar 3 times.
They put you up, Moose?
Yeah, yep. So we were at
wasn't it?
QT, amazing hotel. Like, they just got real hot rooms.
What,
And
no air conditioners. Can't control the temp.
Yeah. No, you can, and this is on me here. I forgot to go and change the temperature before I went to bed. Oh God, it just destroyed me. So I woke up so dehydrated. We ran.
Were you a few beers deep when you went to go to bed?
Couple of beers down. Didn't help.
In other words, got back to the hotel room hammered, Croaks, forgot to adjust the heater.
Yeah. You can get up in the middle of the night and change the temp as well.
Yeah.
Not if you're passed out, you can't. You got to sleep through.
I wasn't passed out, that's for sure. But I love to be passed out. I was literally looking through the minibar. Anything non-alcoholic, I drank. I'm not sure how much my bill was, but I smashed some stuff in there.
You also didn't pay it.
No, I did. I paid for the minibar.
Oh, did you? I thought Nike would have got that.
No, what? No. There's a limit. There's a limit, mate.
Okay.
They're not paying your minibar tab. So then the next morning, 55 through the trails. God, this is some tough work at the moment. You boys would be proud of me working hard like this. Have to bring you down here one day, Brady, just to show you, because I don't think you appreciate this.
The XCR round used to be there. I've been there.
They were on the real soft stuff,
Okay.
down the bottom of the hill. You got to come out this time. One day you come down. Croaks, you're welcome too, but I know you're not going to come down.
I don't like single track.
Yeah, you got to learn to love it. Learn to love it. You wouldn't like it because the pace is slow.
Doesn't look good on Strava.
I like the nice wide fire trails.
Oh yeah. You've got those as well, though, don't you, Moose?
Yeah, I know, but I'm not running them right now. I'm just liking the trails.
He's after another Aussie singlet in mountain running, I reckon, by the looks of these elevation.
Yeah, it's a bit harder than it used to be, I think. The trail running, I want to go back. I could be the trail king again. Back then, I had a choice. There was this fork in the road for me. Could have gone down the trail path. Could have gone down the road path and just slugged it out with you blokes on the road. But the trail scene would have been the easy way. Could have got a profile. Could have been the next Blake Hose.
Imagine how many sponsors and stuff you would have had.
Oh, the North Face. It's sponsored by the North Face, Blake.
Singlet
still?
would be like a NASCAR.
Yeah, I think he is still. Yeah, he's got movies about him. They go on like these film trips and big photo shoots.
That Golden Trail series, you could dominate that. Is that what it's called?
That's coming up. You heard about that, did you?
Yeah, Nate Pierce ran with me once and was trying to explain it all.
Yeah,
I actually don't mind it. I reckon it's getting pretty innovative in the trail world.
There's a bloke who took the easy path.
Well, I think he was 7th on the weekend, though.
Oh, 7th place in a trail race.
Up in Queensland or something, I think I saw on his
Isn't he
Instagram.
sponsored too?
Yeah, sponsored by On.
Oh, not anymore. Not after that.
Coming back from a niggle, I think.
Yeah, but that's like 7th. You got to be walking for that.
I reckon Craig Mottram calls him in the afternoon. Didn't that happen to Fred Curley overnight? Did you see that?
What, 7th?
Yeah, he did he said he left his spikes at the airport and then did a 100-metre race in some Puma spikes, and then ASICS announced that they'd both parted ways.
Oh, what an idiot.
It's like, we wish him luck. We are no longer associated with him.
Holy shit. That guy had one of the biggest contracts in the sport.
Yeah, I think it was like a 6-year one too.
Oh.
I reckon you'll be able to get another one, though, pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember that coming out and thinking that there's this, like I knew that was one of the biggest deals ever done. Oh, how could you fuck that up so bad?
And that just would have been a clause too, wouldn't it? Like the minute you race in another pair of shoes, bang, you're done.
I wonder if he did that on purpose. Like you'd have to know that you shouldn't do that, and that's a way out of your contract.
Yeah, potentially.
If something was unhappy there. Anyway, I ran the long run. This was a tough one. This was a bit of croaker pace today. So 24.5K, an hour 45 we ran. We started slow. So 4:50 first K. It was pretty cool down the bottom of the hill. And then we just started to climb a bit. And then we went on some single track. And then I reckon we started to get moving probably around the 7th K. We went uphill and we started to charge a bit. And I reckon everything after that I felt like was a push the entire way. So this was my second workout of the week, longish tempo, probably about a 16K tempo. And felt good, felt strong. Got on some hills, felt like I could push hard, stretch out the group a little bit. They were enjoying it. They love it when I do that. They just lap it up. They look back and go, have a look at the king on his throne up the front. They don't complain at all. They don't call me a dickhead.
He can't talk to us, but look at the king.
I think wanker was used. Dickhead, ego, those sorts of things might have been thrown around behind me. I just caught whispers of it.
So you're calling it a workout, though?
Oh, fuck yeah, this was a workout.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. And I knew I was going to do a workout this day. I felt good. I felt like all the hills that I've been doing have got me aerobically quite strong. I mean, none of these paces are fast at all, but it's just an extended period of time, like climbing, dropping, technical single track where you're pushing around corners. It's good cross-country training for Bandura. I reckon. It's good Bandura training. Anyway, that was it. Come out at 4:16 pace. I'm not sure whether you can see a gap pace for an overall time. Oh, yeah, 4:07s. So certainly 4:07s, but this doesn't take into account the technical terrain. If this was the same hilly, like the same elevation on a smooth path, that would be accurate. But this was probably a faster run than that.
4-minute Ks.
4 minutes, I reckon. I would put it at 4 minutes. That's what it felt like. Yeah. So I recovered today. Kind of a bit tired last night, as you could expect. It was a good workout.
Your blue bars look great here. Like just the progression over the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Stairway to heaven, isn't it?
Looks great.
Yeah, good.
Take some pride in that.
I've been doing it slowly. Like it's been coming along, but I haven't been forcing it. And one of the things that I've made sure I haven't done is enter any races, so I don't start rushing it back. And the surf's been shit this week, which was really helpful. So I don't even consider getting up and surfing. So I just get up and run, and it's an automatic for me. And now I'm thinking, just run every day. Like I'm back to kind of feeling like running's the regular thing for me. It's just back to my routine. An hour seems easy to hit each day. I still just roll on the stopwatch in the bush, but I'm thinking I should start adding a heart rate as my mileage increases and I start to add workouts. I can't keep pushing those hour runs at the effort I've been doing them at. So I'll probably charge up
as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just chuck the heart rate on tonight and on charge, and then I'll start maybe tomorrow with that on.
Yeah, it's probably a good lesson in there that's like if you were to throw in the workouts, you need to ease off somewhere else, and that might be on the single track hills.
Yeah, that's got to give. That's the bit that's got to give.
Yeah, you can't probably do it. It's risky if you do both now.
Yeah, definitely. And there's no place for doing both, because that would just be a ton of grey area, no real recovery day. If I do workouts twice a week and I do a harder long run, those other days have to be cruisy.
Do you think of your training as like different phases? So like you've gone from like building consistency now to like building fitness more?
Yeah. Now I can start to use that initial rebuild, the initial foundation that I've kind of laid. I can start to use that a little bit. I think people come back into workouts too quickly, and they don't set the foundation before they start doing their workouts after an injury or a break, whatever they've had time off from. They don't lay the base, like put the slab out. They start to just try to do all the different fun stuff too early.
Well, the mistake is
how your niggles?
Niggles are all right. Yeah, surprised. I thought I'd be sore today. I wasn't. My hips actually improved a lot after that Sunday run. No idea how that happened. One of those real weird moments where I start the run and I'm like, hips not feeling awesome. And then I don't think about it until this morning when I wake up. I'm like, fuck, my hips come good. After the hardest run I've done in 3 months.
Yeah, that's good. I was just going to say, like, the terminology around the word workouts, like as you just said, your long run was your workout. So people get cages that they're not doing workouts, whereas you reframed it and were like, these long runs are my workout, running over 200 meters worth of elevation counts as a workout, and then you just transition.
Yeah, it's like strong aerobic efforts. Yeah, I mean, I'm running 5-minute K pace on some of them, and it's feeling like a workout.
Yeah,
it's using your body to tell you if it's hard or easy. And I know when I finish those runs, I've worked pretty hard. And at the time when I'm going up a hill that's like a 5 to 10 minute climb, I'm working hard up that hill, and that's enough for me at the moment. I don't need to know my exact heart rate or my pace or whatever, or I don't need to structure it into some specific like number of sets or reps. It's just doing its thing out there in the bush. The bush is just doing it for me.
Yeah, love it. So we won't see you in Bendigo this weekend for the cross country?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Look, Geelong's not looking good. I got Gunther up my ass trying to get me to run. But I just can't. I can't swing it. I don't reckon. 3 hours out, 3 hours back. I'm considering doing this Surf Coast half marathon, which is on Saturday. Still sort of thinking.
The same day.
Same day, yeah. And I could get down to the start line in 10 minutes and
do that.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Craig, what have you been doing?
So I had a decent week. So Monday pulled up pretty well from the half. Just a bit of like slight DOMs in my calves, but that was it. I had been battling like this cold. So like a day or two before the half, I sort of had this like scratchy throat. But while I was always running, I felt completely fine. And then from pretty much like Sunday night all the way through till probably like Wednesday or Thursday of this week, like every night when the air got cold, like I started coughing and was like coughing up a little bit of green stuff. But I felt during the day completely fine. And when I was running, I didn't feel like my breathing was restricted at all. I lost my voice on Tuesday. So I even got into some of your athletic greens. I took a couple of mornings. And this was actually before the half. A couple of mornings I got into that to try and like nip it in the bud. Not sure whether it worked or not. But
what do you think of them? You like it?
Yeah, like I was taking them a bit last year around when was it? Around Tour de France. So the period when I was told that I couldn't run, I just started taking it because I'm like, maybe I should just try and like look after my health a little bit more because I've got some issues going on. So yeah, I don't mind it. I much prefer getting up and having a coffee first thing in the morning, but I would always have that first because I think they say have that on like an empty stomach.
I did read that.
And then have my coffee later on. So anyway, I kicked off Monday. I went to the gym in the morning, and then that afternoon I went out for an hour. Felt pretty good, 4:15s. Then Tuesday after work, I went out for another hour, 4:13, pretty much the same loop as the day before. And then I went out to the track just to watch the group train, which was interesting because by that stage I'd pretty much lost my voice, so I couldn't even really yell out, give encouragement. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday, I went for my midweek long runs. I did an hour 45, and because I hadn't done a session, I wouldn't say I pushed it, but a bit quicker than the previous weeks. That was 4:07s, 25.5K. Then Thursday afternoon, I just did 45 minutes on the treadmill, and then changed into some flats and just did some strides on the treadmill. And then Friday, a few of us decided that we would train in the afternoon out at Mulligan's because I just wanted to sort of get back to doing some sessions over the hills again, because when I was running at my best in 2017, 2018, I was doing so many long sessions over those hills on the trails, and I just think they're so good for you compared to going down to Lake Burleigh where it's just flat concrete. It just gives you extra gears, also just mentally makes you a bit stronger. So I got up in the morning and did a run around Yerrabee Pond, so it's about 1 kilometre from home. That was 7.6K at 4:17s. And then that afternoon, met Zach. Was meant to meet Jack as well, but he was a bit late. So we left just because we knew that we were going to struggle with daylight if we left it too late. So it was a pretty ordinary afternoon. It was wet, cold and windy. So we just, the normal Mulligan sort of long run we do where we head out and back, we basically just ran out 5K for the warm-up, and then from there the session was 7-minute sort of tempo, 2-minute kick down a bit harder, and then 90-second jog between the sets. I haven't really done too many of these types of sessions out at Mulligan's because it sort of depends. You sort of got to run purely to effort. Pace is really irrelevant because if you get to the base of a hill for the 2-minute solid, yeah, you can run harder, but pace is going to be probably potentially slower than your 7-minute tempo if you hit a downhill section. But I was pretty happy with how it worked out. Ended up averaging 3:27s for the whole session, which was 30 minutes, 8.7K, about 100 metres of elevation. But given the conditions, it was good. So 7-minute reps were 3:24, 3:26, 3:32, 2-minute reps at 3:12s, and then jogging about 4 minutes between the sets. So yeah, that was good. And yeah, I'm going to try and get out, do sessions out there every 2 to 3 weeks because I just think it makes you a much better and stronger runner.
Hey, perceived effort at the end of that one. That's pretty solid workout, isn't it? Kicking off already a solid pace and then only having 2 minutes at definitely not 90 seconds.
Yeah.
At almost a float you'd call.
Yeah, it was pretty solid. It was actually the way the course worked, it was perfect. So the first 7 minutes was a little bit of uphill and then a nice big downhill. And then once we got onto the flat, it was the 2 minutes hard. And then for the second 7-minute rep, it was a bit of downhill, a bit of uphill. But then when we finished that, we had probably a slight downhill for the hard 2 minutes. And then the third set was the hardest. We had a pretty long climb for the majority of the 7 minutes, to the point that I got to the top of that climb and it was definitely way harder than 60-minute sort of tempo effort. That trying to kick down off that was pretty hard. I had that sort of real heavy feeling in my legs, which you get when you're sort of running hard over the hills. But it was slightly downhill for the last 2 minutes. So I was still able to get that turnover. It was a pretty solid effort. So I was pretty happy to average that sort of pace, given the conditions as well. But it was my only session for the week. Then Saturday morning, got out for an hour, 4:16s, went out that afternoon around Yerrabee Pond for 30 odd minutes, 7.5K, did a few strides afterwards, and then met Rob and Jack for a long run. So we actually started off pretty slow, slower than normal. So 4:51 first K, 4:45 second, 4:30 third K. So it took a while for the average pace to come down. I think first 90 minutes we were I don't know, somewhere between like 4:20 and 4:25. And then we got down to the pond, and, the last hour for me was probably closer to like low 4-minute K average. Took 90 grams, took one of those 90-gram pouches and then another 30-gram gel throughout the course of the long run. And I did, 2.5 hours, 35.4K at 4:15s. And then got home, and then Viv's like, oh, you should jump in the pool as a bit of an ice bath. I was like, give that a go. So jumped in there, just up to like my belly button for 10 minutes. It was about 10 degrees, the pool.
Yeah, that's pretty cold, isn't it, Moose, compared to the ocean?
It's a bit colder than the ocean, but I did have a few people slide into my DMs with this pic, Croaks.
Why? What's wrong with it?
Well, they asked me what was wrong with it. They said, what's wrong with this picture? And I said, the bloke's wearing a long-sleeve T-shirt in his pool. He's wearing clothes in his pool.
Well, no, but I'm not fully... Like, I'm up to it's just above my belly button. And it's like, it's 7 degrees outside. I'm just having something so I'm not... Because I've just finished a run. I want to stay somewhat cold. I was almost going to put a bloody jumper on, actually, over the top.
Jacket and beanie, Croaks, when I go in there.
Yeah.
It's like when you see the footballers in the ocean after the game, Moose. Yeah,
so 100%. Do you want me to send you a photo, Moose, of the footy players in the ocean with their jumpers on?
Oh, the AFL players.
Coast,
yeah.
Mate.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a blue doctor if you're going up to your knees only.
Well, I was just icing the part of my body that had been pounded for the last 2.5 hours.
What was that? That was from the night before, was it?
I did. I felt pretty good when I got out. Like a bit stiff initially, but it was good. So 146K, I think, for the week. Yeah, just under 147.
That's some mileage. Here it comes.
1,300 meters of elevation. So like not crazy, but decent.
He's doing everything.
My biggest concern was how dirty the pool was.
Yeah, well,
we're gonna start calling him out. Yeah, start calling him out, Croaks.
Still waiting for old mate to come. Actually, he came over today. He's like, oh yeah, I've got to go and go to the pool. Like, I've already ordered it all. Just got to go and pick it up. So I'll come over this week. So
does he come over and visit his old house?
Yeah, it's like he's been over for like 3 or 4 times, because it's like today he dropped over like another garage remote.
Yeah, he's got separation issues.
Yeah, he wants to stay in touch. There'll be all sorts of stuff he'll be dropping off.
The guy we bought our house off, he would send me because he did like renovations to it, and like years after we moved in here, he'd send me like Facebook photos of him doing the renovations. And I was like, I've got to block this guy and cut him off. I'm like, this is not a relationship. I'm not looking after your like pet here. This is my house now.
I'm okay. Like, I think it's good to have him there, like, helpful anyway. Like, if something comes up about the house, it's like, oh, hey, how do you do this? But yeah.
This guy would get on the piss and like try to ring me at like 2 a.m. in the morning. Wake up with missed calls and stuff from him. It was really weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, like he just wanted to reminisce, and I'm like, no, this isn't what we're doing here. It's a good week from you, Croaks. 4 weeks, Gold Coast yesterday.
Yep, I'll be there.
We're getting closer. I'll whistle through this one.
Rumour I might be pacing with you, Brady.
2 big dogs on the same pack here, Moose.
Yeah, I can't wait for this. I'm going to get out on the bike and heckle.
No, we are not making a thing of this. We're pacemakers. It is about the athletes there.
I'm going to be the 3rd pacemaker, I think, on the bike.
Oh, let's get you there. Maybe just come for 10K or something, just 3 fellas.
Yeah, line bike, and I'll just have like a Bluetooth speaker, and we'll play some pump-up tunes. And who are you pacing? Which are the girls in the race?
Don't know. Got to find out.
Find that out ASAP, though, I think. I'm going to whistle through this one because we've got a potential guest coming in 5 minutes. I was also coming off a race like Bradley, so my Monday was pretty easy. 60 minutes at 4:48 pace in the morning. I did 6K in the afternoon at 4:51 pace. Accidentally threw out a good morning on my afternoon run. You guys ever do that?
No.
Try not to.
It's easy to do that, isn't it?
Don't talk to the kangaroos in Mulligans.
Yeah, when you're just so used to saying morning when you run past someone, and that just slipped out on me.
Do you know who it was?
No. It was just somebody also exercising, jogging past me.
Good.
So
you'll never see him again.
A bit embarrassing. Tuesday after a Sunday race, I never do a workout. I just always feel it's like way more risk than reward. Obviously, when you race, it's like a high level of stress, and I just always think I need more than 48 hours to be able to back up for for a workout. So I just jogged through. I did 90 minutes at 4:27 pace and then 30 minutes at 5:02 pace in the Arvo. And then by Wednesday, I was feeling ready for a workout. We didn't start this workout until 10:30 a.m. because I was on parent helper duty at Hudson's Kinder. You guys done that before?
No.
Oh, it's a different world in there, Croaks. Like, I thought I'd be ready for it, being a school teacher. And occasionally I'll do yard duty up near like the prep kids. But Kinder, like, it's just free-for-all. It's just like lunchtime the whole time. Just kids playing with whatever they want. Shovels going everywhere in the sandpit. Kids burying stuff. Footies flying through the air. Yeah. Good. And because there's only like one parent helper for the day, it's like every kid wants to play with you. So it was, it took a lot of energy out of me before my workout. But it was, good to see the young fella in his kinder environment. So then Archie and I met up 10:30. We did, which is a weird time to train. I'm used to like having training done by, 7:30, 8 a.m. kind of thing. What did we do? We did 6 by 1.5k reps at threshold. Averaged about like 3:12 pace off 90-second jog. And then at the end of it, just did 4 by 1 minute hard, 1 minute slow jog between. And the slow jogs between were like pretty much just like shuffling. I just hate stopping, so then I just don't like starting again. So, I just prefer to keep the legs ticking over in those 1 minutes off. So that was good. Nice workout, good mileage there. Good to have Archie there to share the reps with. Thursday before work, did 14k at 4:41 pace. Friday did 15k at 4:34 pace in the morning, and then 7k in the Arvo after school at 4:44s. Then Saturday did some hills again, got on the bridge ramp. Archie come with me again this one, so that was good to have some more company. Did 4 by 90 seconds, 4 by 60 seconds, and 4 by 30 seconds. Jogged back down. I've been enjoying these little hill sessions just because it takes all the thinking out of it. Like, you just don't look at pace, just run to the top at a pace you feel like it's pretty hard, and then jog back down. So, enjoyed that. And then 2 hours Sunday, 4:11 pace with Archie again and his old man Anthony. Some good chatting in there. Probably a bit quick, like 4:11 for me. Like, my heart rate average was 143. That was like my first 2 hours in, I think 6 weeks. So probably not ready to be going that pace yet. Probably should have slowed it down a bit, but we know what happens on Sundays. We get rolling.
Did it feel like a struggle, did it?
It didn't feel like a struggle, but I was like, I haven't been over 145 since the marathon, so it didn't feel like a workout, but it just felt like probably was just, I could have easily done the same thing at 4:20 pace and just, not unnecessary, but when I should have been looking at the heart rate as we were running. I would prefer just to be banking time on feet for 2 hours at the moment, not trying to push things along a bit, but that was okay. Week of 148k. Would you say yours was, Crooks? Same thing?
I think you got me. I think I was just under 147.
You got me on the hills though, Crooks. You got me on the hills. So,
what was your elevation for the week?
I don't know. Oh, no, I got some for the hill reps, but that would have been about it. Sundays would have been about 25 metres. But that was it for the day. That's it. Bendigo cross country this weekend. Looking forward to going around there in the local race. Should we quickly thank some Patreon supporters, fellas? Then I might see if I can get our guest organised.
Yeah.
So save me till the end, and I'll do some work in the background here. You two go for it though.
I'll kick it off. I've got Jeremy Higlett from Ferntree Gully. Has PBs of 16:14 from the Box Hill Burn, 33:26, which was at the recent Lakeside 10K, 77:08 at the Burnley Half, and 3:01 from the 2022 Melbourne Marathon. Pretty sure he's part of the Northside Collective and has a couple of kids. And he actually had a look at his Strava. There's a photo from our Bathurst long run, Brady. So he was part of that group in Bathurst. So thanks for your support, Jeremy.
No, I was there too, Craig.
I know, but you weren't there for very long. You weren't part of that photo.
Oh, why? What? You got a photo on the run?
Yeah.
I've got Justin Goodread. He's from the Newcastle area. He's got a best 5K 17:28 at the Stockton Parkrun, 37:23 at the 2019 Bridge Run, 84.50 at the 2019 Forster Half Marathon, and 3:01 at the Gold Coast Marathon in 2019. He appears to be training for Sydney Marathon, which is with the goal of sub 3 hours. I believe he is a maintenance, reliability, and planning consultant at Untapped Resources. All right. Do you reckon that's in the office or out on the road on digging holes?
I reckon he does a bit on the road.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin, for your support.
You're back, Brady.
Hey?
Who have you got, Brady?
I've got Aaliyah Noonan from Bendigo. So I think she's from Bendigo here. She definitely was born in Bendigo. She was good mates with my cousin. 5K best of 23:12 from the Bright Park run, and she's also ran 49:37 at last year's Carmen's 10K. I was there that day, boys. Carmen's 10K was the day after Zatopek. Was that one?
Yep,
I think
that's
so.
One.
And 1:51 at the 2022 Gold Coast Half Marathon. Possibly a human resources coordinator at Bendigo Health. There we go, Croaks.
That's why I gave you her, because I thought you would know her.
Well, I know her, but I didn't know any of those things about her. So you've educated me here tonight, which I thank you for. Massive thanks to all our Patreon supporters over there at obviously Patreon. If you like what we do, you can support the show for as little as, I think it's $5 a month. It could be a different conversion there with the US. It might be $7 a month, because I think it was set at Patreon US prices. And I didn't realise that, and every week I say $5, but I think it's really $7 a month. If you like bonus content, we've got all that for you as well. The monthly with Toby and Chriso came out the other day. That was good fun talking with those boys. Chriso's got a new coach, fellas, and he's on the up. And also Road to Gold Coast weekly, which has been, I don't know about last week's episode. It may be a bit down in the dumps. I reckon I might go on there this week and just pep them up a bit with the hosting role. Thoughts on that, fellas? Went a bit easy on race 2, I reckon. Need to ask some more difficult questions. Carlos,
never seen a bloke go from having a full-on crack at 210 to being a hobby jogger in 1 week. Almost within one race, he went from being a 210 man to being a rec runner.
He's back.
Then he bounced back and ran faster in his training session on Saturday than he did in the half.
Yeah, he's bounced back well. He'll be right. I want to go in there and give him a bit of confidence and stuff as well.
What about Hopper?
Hopper's going all right. Not happy with his coach though, Croaks, is he?
No. The man needs to run some 68-minute pace, Croaks.
Yeah, I think he's running faster than that on the weekend.
If you do want to hear what we're talking about, if you've got no idea, you can support us on Patreon there and listen to the Road to Gold Coast. Those guys are 4 weeks away. I think, boys, we've got a very special guest join us. I've tried to patch him in. I hope it's worked. A guy that I don't know a lot about, so I'm really looking forward to talking to him for the next maybe 15 or 20 minutes. He is the Oceania 10,000 metre champion, which happened over the last couple of days. He came 4th at Zatopek on the weekend, spent some time over in the US and had a very, very impressive NCAA cross-country result where he was 9th in 2021. Whole list of other stuff which we'll talk about, I'm sure, in the next couple of minutes. Haftu Strintzos, have I got you there?
Thank you.
You're back from Fiji. Is that where the Oceania champs were?
Yeah. I just came back from Fiji. Had a great time there. Man, it's hot over there. It's quite humid. But yeah, I had a great time. First 10K, second in the 5K against McNeil. So yeah, quite memorable.
Tell how hot was it? What we talking, like 30 degrees?
I think it was mid to high 20s, but it was more the humidity than it was actually the temperature itself.
Yeah. And the atmosphere over there. Like, I think a lot of our listeners will they'll be familiar with track races like Zatopek and the World Champs and the Olympics and things like that. But things like Oceania Champs, they're probably even more familiar with the NCAA stuff. But Oceania Champs is something that we don't often talk about. But the atmosphere over there and your decision to do the race.
Atmosphere was great. Had quite a few cheer squad there. Had my uncle with me. He was getting off from one side of the track to the other. And just the Australian team are quite supportive. 25 laps around the around the track. That's the longest race. So when I finished, I had quite a bit of quite a bit of cheers for everyone, which is quite nice.
And the reason for doing Oceania Champs, like we know that because it's an area championship, there's extra points on the line for with World Athletics. Was that part of your thinking for maybe like World Championships next year?
Yeah, the main goal was to just kind of set myself up pretty well going forward. It can only help. I don't think it's going to hurt to do the Oceania Championships because even if you just end up in the podium third, you still end up with some points, which is better than just, not doing anything at all. So that was my goal going forward. So glad I could get the maximum number of points from the 10K. Though I believe you get even more points if you go faster. I tried doing that, but, time was still relatively slow compared to, my previous times. But, yeah.
Can you give us a little rundown, Haftu, on your current situation, coaching group, where you're based, that kind of thing?
So I am permanently based here in Melbourne now. I have been since December. I've been training under Craig Mottram and with the OAC group. I'm not officially a part of the group, but I train with them, and Craig offers me some coaching, and I get some gear as well, which is great to have as support going forward. That's the arrangement, and I've been loving it. Craig's also helped me to stay up at Falls Creek with the group. I trained with them. I've been up there to Falls Creek a couple of times now, which is, that's a great support to have going forward. So, yeah.
So you're like an apprentice.
Yeah. I guess you could say that.
The relationship with Craig, Haftu, like I was reading a bit about you today. I think, did you get a scholarship at the school he was maybe working at for high school, and then you've kind of gone off to the States and then come back and, that relationship's rekindled?
Yeah, I've known Craig since I was, I think, grade 8 at Haileybury College, which is a school he's somewhat still involved with. Craig's background's been in coaching high school kids, and I was one of his earliest high school kids that he was coaching. Craig's, helped me get to nationals. I think I was pretty close to making World Juniors in the 5K, but missed by 0.61 of a second or something like that back in 2017. I've been to a lot of national races, even won back-to-back cross country under 20 back in high school. And after high school, immediately after I finished grade 12, I received an opportunity to study at Villanova and to compete for them. And, it was an opportunity I could not refuse. And looking back, I'm quite glad that I took it. So back now and under Craig again, and hoping to see what I can do.
Yeah. What did you study over in college?
I studied electrical engineering there.
Okay, smart guy, boys.
Yeah.
And are you using that now to, are you working to support yourself, given you're not part of OAC?
So I was a full-time student athlete while I was in the US. But due to that COVID period, it gave us, an opportunity to extend our eligibility in the US as part of the NCAA. And I finished undergraduate, and then because of that extra year of eligibility, I had the opportunity to do a master's degree and continue to compete for Villanova, which I did. And I just, a couple of weeks ago, received my master's degree in electrical engineering. So, until then, I'd been pretty much just focusing on the running and school. But now, I don't know what's next, man. Might get some kind of side hustle maybe. But at the moment, I don't have anything arranged yet.
The goal is to become a professional runner, though. Like, try to land yourself a deal and be able to pursue it as a job.
Absolutely. I mean, it'll be an absolute privilege to be able to do that. But it's good to have something to fall back on. Also, I'm glad I could say that with the education, and but the goal is just see what I can do over the next few months. Completely just focused on the running, and see where I can get to.
Haftu, we just saw the NCAA champs over the weekend. Can you take us back to your favourite college race or experience over there?
Man, a lot of good experiences in college. Love traveling with the team. It was just like, when everything is arranged for you, it's quite convenient, and all you have to do is just worry about being a student and an athlete. It was an amazing experience, and got to know a lot of people. But competed at the NCAAs quite a few times. I was able to make it to nationals every year since I'd been there, both for cross country and for outdoor track. I didn't have as much success on the outdoor track. I mostly did 10K. I was able to make it to NCAAs year after year, but I didn't I think I got repeatedly, just year after year, I ended up getting 19th, which kind of became frustrating at one point. But with cross country, I had a little bit more success, but not quite up to my potential, I thought, in the end. Back in 21, where I got my best placing in the NCAAs at cross country in Florida, which was 9th. And interestingly, my current 10K time is not very on the track is not that much faster than the time I did back then, which was 28:57, I believe, and my PB on the track is 28:34 or 33, I believe. So yeah, got to do some improvement on that.
Hey, that was the college record though for Villanova, and we've had some Aussies go to Villanova before. So that you must be very proud of. Pat Tinnen won NCAAs, didn't he? But you've got the college record. Yeah.
That's good to have in the record books. Can always look back on that with some level of pride. But just I just decided to go for it on the day. It felt great, and what is there to lose out on? So got nothing to lose.
I remember, fondly the memories with that race, because Zach and Newman had been telling me for about 6 years beforehand that Haftu is ready for a big race, and watch this Haftu. I've been training with him. We're back in Wattle Park Hills and Craig Mottram days and things like that. And then finally, that result come through, and he was bragging about how he was telling everyone to watch you as an athlete for the 6 years previous.
Yeah, I've known Zaka for a while. But yeah, that's quite nice. But yeah, I've trained with Zaka for I don't know how many years, man. But back in my high school, pretty much the whole time I'd been training with Mottram, Zaka was there, and he was. He loves to grind out the mileage, doesn't he?
Yeah, good influence on you. He would have been way more younger than he was though. Back then.
Yeah.
Haftu, what sort of mileage are you sort of rolling at the moment, and how does your training differ to some of the other boys in Mottram's group? Because they're probably a little bit more like 1,500, 3K steeple, whereas you're more that 5, 10K. So how does your training differ to those boys?
Interestingly, it's not drastically different, from the type of training that Ed Trepis and Zach Fascioni do. We pretty much do the same kind of training. A pretty high mileage, I would say, compared to what I had done previously, which is up to between 140, 150 kilometers per week. And that is maybe slightly, slightly higher now that I'm here, pretty much training as a full-time athlete, like more like 150 to 160. So it's only slightly higher. But the training is like more, I guess there's more intensity to it compared to like my days back in college. But like mileage wise, it's pretty much the same. It's just like, now that I'm pretty much just, only an athlete, I could just, with the recovery and stuff, you could up the mileage and intensity and still, come up for races feeling good. So, yeah.
Haftu, you want to be a professional runner. Where's the most opportunity for a professional with someone your sort of level? Is it going to be track and field? Is it going to be cross country or road racing?
Man, a lot of people have been telling me to try the road racing, but I haven't so far. And my mindset is that you never know until you try it. So might give that a go and see where it goes. But I feel like I have more potential on the track as well. Though I haven't quite been where I wanted to be this season. I think there is still a lot of development to be done. But yeah, both the track and the road the roads are pretty popular right now, as you guys would notice. Every major city in the world's pretty much got some famous road race associated with it. So both are, opportunities for me. That probably be not really sure what I'll be focusing on more, but I'll definitely be participating in both road races and track races going forward.
So we got no news of the debut road race though. Not a Gold Coast 10K coming up or a Burnie 10 later in the year, half marathon. We're not going to see you debut at like the Ballarat 15K. Surely it's got to be something bigger than that.
I don't know. That Gold Coast 10K might be in the cards. The one that's on a month from now.
Yeah, we got it out of him, boys. I knew there'd be some kind of plan there.
Nothing's been confirmed yet. There isn't like a definitive plan. Right now it's just, just rest up from Fiji, from Oceania Championships, and kind of just get the body back into racing again. But I mean, there's still a lot of races going on around Australia in terms of like road racing and cross country as well. So, I might try the state cross country championships, perhaps try to get to Tassie. Yeah, I'd love the idea of going to Tassie. Yeah, it's Tassie for nationals. That would be nice. Yeah. There's still quite a bit of planning to do. We'll see what's in the cards going forward.
Signed up for an AV team yet?
Yeah, Glenn Huntley. He ran at Giles Park.
I'm part of Glenn Huntley. I have been since my very early days, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. What clubs are you guys a part of?
Well, Geelong was actually, we got a bit of cash to spend, and how much are they paying you there?
I don't think that's the way it works with AV clubs.
It could be, though, if you want it to be. I got an envelope with your name on it.
I don't know, man. Geelong might be a bit far from me.
You don't have to train there. You just got to race for them.
I just got a singlet for you, and we'll be good.
I've got history with Glenn Hartley, so I'm gonna keep it that way, as I know.
Good club, man.
Talking about
you
go,
23rd at World Cross. Talk us through that experience. Happy with the result?
First Australian.
Yeah, very glad to be the first Australian across the line. That's quite nice to have in the record books, but I wasn't quite where I wanted to be, honestly. Ideally, I wanted to finish at least in the top 20, that would have been really nice, but, you can't complain too much. It's the first international cross-country race, so it was quite stacked at the front with the Africans. But yeah, I gave my best at the end of the day. So quite proud of it. But, there's always that wanting a little bit more at the end. But all things considered, pretty proud of myself for what I did on that day.
What else happens on a day-to-day Haftu? Like, tell us some about your hobbies. Like, what are you watching on Netflix? What do you do with your spare time when you're not running?
Oh man, I'm just trying to be helpful around the house, help my mum out every now and then. I live with my mother and my grandfather here. I'm just trying to be as helpful as possible. But I'm not really following any TV shows right now. Just trying to, I've been more like just trying to keep up to date with stuff going on in the US, you know, the NCAAs and all that. Also, they've got the Olympic trials coming up as well. Got a few people that I know that will be competing there. But yeah, just keeping tabs on that and kind of trying to plan for the future. But there's not much else really.
Yeah, day goes pretty quick. You'd be doubling most days as well.
Yeah, man, the day does go pretty quick. Like I double on most days, so that takes up like not necessarily the running itself, but you know the stuff that you do around it. That takes a bit of time. But yeah, the day does go pretty quickly. There aren't enough hours in the day, man.
Where do you do your long runs? Oh, sorry, Craig.
Oh, you go, Moose. Yeah.
Where are you doing your long runs? You in the bush?
I've been getting out to Listerfield on Sundays, though our schedule has been kind of changing to the long runs have been changing between Sundays and Saturdays, depending on, you know, what the plan is, like what the racing schedule is. But yeah, mostly just Listerfield, and on occasion I just go from home here in the nearby parks, you know, Carcourt Park here. It's got like a 3K loop on the outside, so do that a few times, and there's like some bike paths that you can follow, come back in and out, and yeah, that's mostly it.
And what sessions do you like the most, or what part of training is it? Do you like the long runs? Do you like short intervals? Do you like tempos? What's some of your favourite sessions?
That's a good question. I'll say
Craig?
I like
Craig? Good question.
Yeah, I'll say I find the shorter stuff a bit more exciting, you know. The longer stuff, you just kind of get used to it, and once you're like comfortable at a certain pace, it just gets a little tedious. So I like challenging myself with a bit of turnover, you know. It's not something I have much of as a distance runner. So I try to improve on that, and just like, I don't know, I find the shorter sessions, 400 reps or 800 reps or whatever, even shorter, you know, bit of turnover. I find that a bit more exciting. But, you know, obviously I like the longer stuff as well. The Sunday long runs are always enjoyable. Try to change it up every now and then. So.
And what is your long run? What's the furthest you go?
The furthest I go is usually like 25K at the moment. Yeah.
And the structure of like who makes the calls on what races you do? Like, is that Craig as well, or do you have a manager, or is that just solely what you think you need to do? Like, who makes those decisions?
I usually just like sit down with Craig at the start of the season, and you know, it's mostly like with what I want to do, you know, where I want to get to versus, you know, how to best achieve that. So we have that discussion usually at the start of the season, and, you know, kind of decide from there on what sessions are best to do. And yeah, it's like a mutual sort of discussion, you know. And Craig will usually try to give like useful suggestions and like give you good ideas, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like up to you what you want to do. Yeah, but I don't really like, since I'm not a contracted athlete, I don't officially have a manager, but I've been like, I stay in contact with Sean Whip, you know, just like, so you can look out for opportunities for me. But I'm not a contracted athlete at the moment. So, you know, there isn't like an official arrangement.
Yeah. Only a matter of time, though, hopefully. What about who do you look up to in the sport, like inspirations?
Oh man, I take inspiration from a lot of people. I mean, in the sport, I would say like, I have a little bit of favoritism here because, I went to the same school as Patrick Tiernan and Jordy Williams and Sam McKenty and all those guys that went to Villanova also. So I have a lot of respect and admiration for Tiernan, with what he achieved in college and also, what he's achieving now on the roads as well. I like Tiernan and what he's done. But yeah, it's usually like, and Mottram's career was pretty amazing as well. He achieved a lot of things in his days.
Did you know who he was when you started at that school? Like, were you already a fan of him before you started that school?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, I was a fan of him way before he came to the school. So when he showed up at the school, it was just a big surprise. I was like, whoa, this is a great opportunity. And soon enough, I was being coached by him. So, yeah.
That's the last one for me, boys. What else you got for him before we let him go?
Just what age did you start running, Haftu?
I started running in 2012. So I was like 13. Yeah.
Is that just through school?
Yeah, I started in elementary school here, Oakley South Primary School. When I was there, my PE teacher was like, we did one of those school cross country loops that we've got there at the Oval, and it's like I did one of those, and I think I finished like top 3. And my PE teacher was like, "Hey man, I think you're born to run. You should give this a try." And managed to get me into like district races and all that. And, it kind of just went up from there. I went from one little athletics club to another and eventually to Glen Huntley. And from there, it just kind of kept building up. So, yeah.
Have to, last one from me. Favorite pair of shoes that you get around in as a jogging shoe?
Jogging shoe. Oh, wow. Right now I've gotten used to the Monsters.
Mm.
The On Monsters. At first I was like, this shoe just feels kind of weird, coming up from the Nikes, because in my college days I was used to the Nike stuff. Mm-hmm. But now, I run in them every day. Long runs, easy runs, whatever. Those are my go-to.
Good one.
Awesome, Haftu. It's been great to talk to you for the last 20, 25 minutes and hear a lot about you. I know a lot of our listeners, I think when you won World Cross Country Trials, like we put a Instagram story up saying Haftu had won, and everyone's like, who's Haftu? So hopefully now a lot of our listeners know much more about you and appreciate you as a runner, and we can look out for you at the Gold Coast 10K. And I'm even I'm calling it early. When you go to the roads and start running half marathons and marathons, I think it could be, I'm getting on the stock real early here, boys. It could be 5 years away from the marathon debut, but I'm calling it early that I think you're going to have a great future on the roads for Australia.
I like the enthusiasm.
That's my job on the show.
We'll find out sooner or later. Thank you, guys.
And will we see you at Bendigo cross country this weekend? Are you going to do XCR?
I was thinking of doing that sundown relays.
Yep.
But yeah, every now and then I get a message from Glen Huntley.
Trevor Vincent.
And in fact, I did the first XCR race, which was at Gels Park.
Yep.
That was fun. It was just fun to reunite with people that I hadn't seen for about 5-6 years. And that was a lot of fun. So, looking forward to getting out there again.
Yeah. Don't feel like you got to do every round. Just a couple throughout the year is probably the best.
No pressure down at Geelong, mate. We won't pressure you to do anything.
I run for Bendigo, have to. And you're one of our you're a competitor to us. But thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Awesome. See you later. Bye.
This episode of Inside Running Podcast is sponsored by Aid Station. As an athlete-owned and operated online store, AidStation understands the role that good nutrition plays in peak performance. They've gathered the world's best sports nutrition products under one website so you can spend less time stressing about your fuel and more time getting outside. Stocking over 1,000 products from 80 plus brands, including energy gels, chews, hydration, running socks, hats, and recovery products, anything that aids your performance. Take your running to the next level and visit AidStation at aidstation.com.au.
All right, next part of the show, boys. Running news. Let's go with, let me scroll up here on this massive agenda. Let's go to the Oceania Champs, Croaks. We just heard from Haftu, but let's now hear about the other results.
Yeah, so sort of roll through. So men's 800. So Peyton Craig got the win there, 146.33 over Luke Boys, who is the Australian champion. He ran 146.39, and Jack Lum was third in 149. So,
what does this mean? Does this mean point stuff?
Yeah. So, and this is where it's sort of tough, because obviously there's a lot of points for Oceania champs, but if you're having it in Fiji, it's really going to impact our 5 and 10K guys, because those extra points are only really going to help if you run a fast time as well, which, you're not going to be running a fast time if it's high 20s and 90% humidity. But for the middle distance guys, they can really cash in because they can still run quick. But what I think it means is, so Pete Bowles already selected. Joseph Deng has the standard. So if he shows some sort of fitness, then I guess, they'll take him, which leaves one spot. And I feel like Luke Boys is ahead on rankings points at the moment. Not sure whether that will change now that Peyton got the win over him at Oceanias. So it's going to be an interesting few weeks, I suppose.
It certainly will be.
Yeah. Women's 8, Carly Thomas, she finished second in 2:04 behind New Zealand's Alison Andrews-Paul in 2:03. Men's steeple. Now, this was interesting. So it was an Aussie 1-2-3. We had Matt Clark get the win in 8:31, which, is pretty slick time in those sort of conditions, plus the Oceania points. So that would be good for him. Ben Buckingham was second in 8:44, and Ed Trippus was third in 8:53. So not sure what's happened to Ed. I know, was it Nationals he didn't finish, or no, it was one of, it might have been
Sydney or Canberra or somewhere, wasn't it?
Yeah, or was it Adelaide? It was one of those races
had a couple of DNFs as well.
Yeah, actually, Matt Clark didn't finish in Adelaide, didn't he? It was at the Adelaide Grand Prix. But yeah, Ed's sort of been a little bit off the pace from the first part of the season because he was sort of unbeatable there. But I don't think at the moment that any of these guys are actually in the quota. I will check once we finish this to see where they're sitting. In the women's, Amy Cashin got the win, 9:41. Cara Fien Ryan was second, 9:48, and Stella Radford third in 10:05. Men's 5K, Dave McNeil got the win there, 14:04. Haftu Strintzos second, 14:08, and Matt Taylor from New Zealand was third in 14:15. It was a trifecta for the Aussies in the women's 5K. Jenny Blundell first, 15:26. Holly Campbell second, 15:31. And Morty Skyring was third in 15:49. And the last event is the 10K. Haftu got the win there, 29:17. Andre Waring was second in 29:55. And Josh Phillips was third in 30:06. So, not sure what it sort of all means. Like, I don't think it's going to help too many athletes in the short term, but it might help them for points for world championships.
What we might do... Oh, sorry, Moose, you go.
Yeah, the points thing here is so beneficial to Oceania athletes that it's a bit of a disservice having it in Fiji, when this could be an absolute setup for them to really grab huge points. And if you put it in somewhere cooler, let's say they go to New Zealand or Australia at a cool track and they set it up with the opportunity to have a great race with a lot of fast times, you'll have a lot better fields attend and you'll run fast times. And so the bonus points will actually really count towards a big score. It would be like, I know that Oceania sort of obviously either share it around or use it to promote this sport in different regions, but it's probably at a time now where it's so significant in the context of the ranking system that they need to look after the athletes here a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Because for the women's steeple, for example, so Cara Fee Ryan, she's the first ranked Aussie at the moment, and she's 35th. Amy Cashin's 36th. So they're both in the quota. So Oceania points would probably be pretty beneficial for them, but it would have been even more beneficial if they were running somewhere where they could actually run 9:30 as opposed to 9:40, because it does mean extra points for them.
And I think there's going to be a lot of national championships coming up where there's points on offer, and a lot of ranking points out there in Europe about to go down.
Yeah.
And those girls are just in Croaks, 35th and 36th of 36.
Yeah. I know. I just clicked on Amy, and the Oceania champs hasn't been updated on her. Okay. How you click on a name that shows the results.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. But also, you think about the 5 and the 10K standards are so hard at the moment. Why not give our athletes the best chance to make it in through the quota by allowing them to run, somewhere fast, which can't do in Fiji.
Crazy idea. Could they hold the distance events in a different location?
I don't think so. It's what it's like. This is a Oceania track and field championships.
Yeah,
so
I know. But
basically, everything that's part of the track and field championships needs to be there. You can't just go, we'll just run the 5 and 10 somewhere else. I'm just having a look at the men's steeple. I don't think we've got any. Ed Trippus is number 1 ranked, and he's 43rd.
Okay.
So those guys are going to struggle a little bit, I think.
All right, Craig, tell us about the NCAA champs.
Yeah, so we had a few Aussies in action. In the women's 800, Hayley Kitching, she finished 5th in a PB of 2:01.05. In the 5,000 metres, Kai Robinson finished 3rd. He was behind Parker Wolf, who won the race, and Nico Young was 2nd. Parker won the race in 3:54. Kai Robinson was 3:55. They just sort of got away from him down the home straight. Jackson Sharp finished 10th in 14:01. And in the men's 1,500, Adam Spencer was 3rd behind Joe Wascombe and Elliot Cook. And all 3 of those guys ran 3:39. So a pretty tactical affair, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I watched it. It was slow. And then they just, wound it up with probably 550, 600 metres to go. And Adam was there in a great position, but he just couldn't, he was just a couple of steps behind getting the W.
Both those races tactical, though. That what did Kai Robinson run,
13:55
or something for the last 5K?
Yeah. Oh, the last 800.
Oh, yeah, last 800, yeah. So, huge kick down.
Yeah, it's pretty much in the last 800 that they went in the 5K. I think Nico... Oh, no, it was the guy who won the NCAA cross. I reckon he went with about 800 to go.
Yeah, okay. Right. Tried to burn him.
Didn't. And what do we know about Hayley Kitching? Because 2:01.05 is moving.
When you were reading her name, I was like, nothing. And then I saw the time, and I'm like, wow, we should know something.
Yeah, her name's been on a radar a little bit. I know Dave Tarbottom sent through some results over the last few months with her, so she's definitely one to watch.
Yeah, should have said that at the start of year, Croaks, when you were picking someone.
Well, I had Haftu. I had
Haftu a couple of years ago, didn't you?
Strintzos, yeah, that's me. I reckon that was me. I've had him for multiple years, I reckon.
Zach has had him for the last 6 years.
Yeah, I had him a couple of years ago as well.
No, not you. It was me. You're confusing us.
No, I'll go back and find the audio moves. I'm good at doing that. Where's my girl?
Yeah, get people into that.
Hey, can you also can you get her on looking up if I have a slab that Jess Stenson will make the Olympic team? Because I'm pretty sure Moose owes me a slab for that.
I said if she'd run the time, mate. She didn't run the time.
Don't get into those technicalities. She's on the team, all right?
Time, Moose.
She did run the time.
Not really.
She ran the time.
He said the top 3 in the top 3. I said in the top 3.
I might quickly go to European champs as well here. They were held in Rome. I've been catching a bit of it just on the uploads. It's good, isn't it, this day and age? You can just watch everything on YouTube live streams. Diamond Leagues, European champs.
If you got the time.
Pardon?
If you got the time, you can.
No, yeah, so when you have the time, you just go back and rewatch it. Don't have the luxury to do this stuff live. Don't even know what hours of the nights it's on. But, yeah, I enjoyed watching Jakob goes to the front with 400 metres to go. The biggest look to the left you'll ever see, the biggest look to your right. And then he just makes it look easy. He won this in 13:20. George Mills was second, 13:21. Bit of a breakthrough from him. And Dominique Lombardu from Switzerland was third, 13:21. But there was a pack of 8 of them with the bell. And then, 250 metres to go, there's 4 guys. And you just watch the technique of everybody other than Jakob. And they are just all blown to pieces. It is amazing how relaxed he can be to create that much carnage to the people in the field. So yeah, it's good to see. He's run pretty well, about 53 seconds for the last lap. And I did watch a good...
He's relaxed because he's so much more comfortable. His heart rate's lower, he's less fatigued. He's in a much more relaxed state. It's not so... I don't think it's so much his natural running style, which is great, of course, but it's easy to kick down when you're running a 13:20 and you're a bloody 12:40. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But don't you think even in the 1500s, he never looks like he's overstriding or under stress? He makes it look smooth.
Yeah. He's a good mover.
Yeah.
Covers it well.
I watched a good documentary on him as well. Pro Direct did it. It's called The Next Chapter. Have a look at that on YouTube if you get some time, Moose. I know you got a bit of time up your sleeve. The women's 5K, Nadia Bateau Coletti, she won in 14:35. Yeah, the Norwegian double missed out here because Caroline Grovedale was second in 14:38, and Marta Garcia from Spain, 14:44, was third. The other result from European champs worth talking about was the half marathons. So Crippa from Italy won that in 61:03, won by 1 second over fellow Italian runner Ruvel, and Petros from Germany was third in 61:07. I reckon Petros ran a really good marathon at Berlin one year, Moose. He's the hometown hero at the Berlin Marathon most years. And our friend of the show, Norwegian Sondre Moen, he was 12th in 62:03. The women's Grovdal got the win there in 68:09. Joan Malley, she was second in 68:55.
Where's she from?
ROU.
Romania.
Oh yeah. Why don't they go ROM?
Look this up. It's to do with the French word for Romania.
Oh, good stats, Crokes. That's good from you.
I was going to throw you under it then.
Yeah,
because
I'll find it. I did.
Did you know it, Moose?
No, I didn't know.
You're going to throw me under something you didn't know. Callie Thackeray, there's a name we're talking about a bit. She was third, 68:58. Her continuing amazing form since she left the shores of Australia continues with that run, a medal at that level in a pretty quick time as well, and I think it was pretty hot. McGann from Ireland, Bradley, won the 1500 metres in 4:04. She beat Georgie Bell. I'm assuming the men's 15 hasn't happened yet because I assume Jakob's going to do that double, Crokes.
No Laura Muir in that race?
No, and this is where it's interesting. I feel like Europeans maybe this year, with being an Olympic year, it's a bit hit and miss because some people are obviously going, you know what, I'm putting all my eggs in the basket for the Olympics. So, you would have expected to see, or is Josh Kerr running the men's 15?
I don't know.
I've got a feeling.
Ingebrigtsen?
And Whiteman's not, because I know he raced in New York today or yesterday. So there's a few of the big hitters that you would expect to be there that may not, just because it's we're just going to save it now for the Olympics, and also their trials. I think the UK trials are very soon.
Oh yeah. You can't do everything, can you?
No. So, and the reason why Romania is ROU, it's taken from the French exonym for Romania, which is Roumanie. So ROUMANIE.
Good.
There you go.
Good stats. That's what people tune in for. US races, Croaks, this is back to you, the Portland Track Festival.
So these were like today. So in the women's 5K, we had Lauren Ryan finish 4th in 14:59 and Nat Rule was 7th in 15:03. So some pretty good running there. That race was won by Safan Hassan in 14:43 and then she backed up about 30 minutes later with a 4:08 1500. She didn't win the 1500, but that was the main one there. I think Sam McEntee also ran a 5K there in, I don't know, like 13:20 something. And then there was also the New York City Grand Prix over the weekend. And we had Peter Bowl in the men's 800. He finished 9th in 1:48. And Jesse Hunt was in action in the men's 1500, coming in 8th in 3:36. And that race was won by Jake Whiteman in 3:34.
Geez, Pete Bowl's been a bit off, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Pretty much. Well, yeah, he hasn't run well really overseas at all. So starting to get worried.
Time's still on his side a bit. I started to get worried when I read that article that came out a couple of weeks ago about his, they released that data about what they found on his phone.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't read well.
No, I don't think we did. I think it was like there was a whole lot of news on that weekend.
That night. No, I reckon I was off. I reckon it was you blokes.
Croaks does the agenda.
Croaks.
You reckon he's trying to protect Pete Bowl?
Yeah. Well, you didn't think that was worthy of a chat, Croaks?
Well, I don't know. It's more of just, for me, it seemed more like just the media. I don't know. Like, I'm pretty sure that stuff was already out there previously, but then they sort of brought it back and made a big point about it. At the end of the day, like, the guy's been proven innocent. So, like, you got to go with that, don't you?
So just to clarify, because there may be some listeners wondering what we're talking about, what was found on his phone, and I do not have it written exactly in front of me here, so I don't want to get it wrong, but was it something around screenshots of, like, how to not test positive? Was that right? Should I get this correct? So
No, it was screenshots of how, I think it was screenshots of how to microdose the EPO. Like, and it was a particular protocol like thing used by one of the doctors in the past. I believe that was it. Like Conti maybe back in like decades ago.
Yeah, it was Victor Conti. So anti-doping officials from Australia who seized Bowl's phone and computer during the investigation into the positive drug test had found a screenshot on the phone with information from a former distributor of performance-enhancing drugs, Victor Conti, about how to microdose EPO and how to evade drug testers. That's from The Age on May 24th. So, probably not a great look.
Yeah, it's not a great look. Not a great look at all. I mean, it's nothing conclusive, is it? But probably the worst thing was that there was a statement saying he'd never even researched how to dope before. And so it just sort of showed up one of his lies, which is never a good look. And I think it was just a little bit of ASADA or WADA just maybe throwing it back a little bit after they copped so much negative sort of press, or like so much, almost throwing mud on them after all that scandal. And then they just sort of wanted to let it be known that, hey, we had some stuff on there. We had some stuff going. That's what it sounded like.
Last bit of news tonight was the doping news. Ronix Kipruto was banned for 6 years. We said a while ago how he'd tested positive and now the ban was handed down. He was the world 10K road record holder. Had a whole do you think this was the big one they were talking about out of Kenya?
I don't know.
Was that
did he actually test? Did he test positive, or was it just through the blood? Was it the biological passport?
Oh yeah, sorry. Well, that announcement had previously been, hadn't it? But now we've got the ban.
Yeah.
Like, we knew about this. This wasn't a shock. We knew he was done, but the ban just got handed down last week.
Yeah, and 6 years is pretty substantial. So he's also been stripped of obviously that world record and the 10,000 metre bronze medal that he won at the 2019 World Championships. So he'll be banned now until May 2029. So it's a while.
Biomarkers over their career. So this is kind of new, isn't it? This is where we're seeing this. Like more people getting popped. They haven't actually tested positive, but they're looking at all their data over a long period of time.
And this is a long period too. This was like the bloke's only 24 years old or something, and they've been looking at it since he was nearly like a kid, like 18, I reckon. So it's been looks like it's been happening for a while.
Yeah, and a sophisticated doping program. I thought I saw written somewhere, which isn't good. Like you're sitting in the stands that night, Moose, watching him. 2019 World Champs Doha. You're watching the 10,000 meters.
Well, you've also got
because the other guy,
the 10Ks. I was always watching those 10Ks, thinking this bloke is like got this massive forward lean. He never looked tired. It's probably a telltale sign, I guess. But like
he didn't win.
Not at Doha, but I'm talking about at the 10K when he ran the world record.
Yeah,
10K world record. You remember thinking this guy's just run like 2:35 pace or something for 10K, and he just doesn't even look like it's hard work.
I think we describe it as it looks like they're sprinting the whole way. Like when you watch them, you're just like, these guys are just full gas the whole way. Don't get tired.
Don't get tired is the key. It just seems like there's no upper limit to them. Like their body, like the mechanical stress of running is like they can't go faster. And that's what's stopping them from running even quicker than what they do.
There were a whole lot of other tests announced as well out of Kenya. Did you see that news? 26 other athletes suspended.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, from other sports as well.
Yeah, a lot of athletics though. But yeah, a bit of handball in there, a bit of rugby.
Really? Is Kenya getting
Basketball
close
as well?
to like Russia's situation where they're almost going to have a blanket ban?
Absolutely.
But Kenya's wasn't Russian more like state sponsored? Like this just seems like it's in different pockets in Kenya. Not that I know anything about this, but it's not it's not like they're going after the federation. But it sounds like it's happening everywhere under the federation.
I think there's a problem. There was a problem with the doping. That was like the Kenyan anti-doping authority just was real poor. They weren't getting their shit done. There was a lot of corruption, and so that's probably what they were referring to as well. Because I know there was a lot of chat about leaving Kenya out of the championships as a penalty.
Do you reckon they ever would though with their dominance? Like, which is a funny statement because
Russia was very dominant. Yeah. Russia was dominant in lots of things. Sports.
They don't have a Kipchoge figure though.
No, but other sports.
I know. But the main problem seems to be in athletics, and the most popular person in athletics is from Kenya. Most well-renowned world figure in running is a Kenyan. And Kipchoge.
Yeah, well, that when you get up to
doesn't look
world
good.
anti-dope. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You're saying that they're too popular to leave out to ban the country.
Yeah. There's too many good stories with Kipchoge and Kipchoge to then leave them out.
But that's more world athletics care about that, whereas the world anti-doping or the IOC or whoever's banning these countries as a whole, they don't really care about that. Obviously, world athletics want to protect their brand, but it's not world athletics that makes the call as to which countries are completely banned.
Yeah, okay. Good chat. Listen question, Craig. So let's bring this show home.
Yeah, we'll go the watch strategy. So what is showing on your watch when you're racing versus training? Also, lapping. Do you lap each kilometre, 5K, auto lap during a race? And that question comes from Maurice Kelter.
Good one, Maurice. Let's go with
training first?
Training first. Depends what I'm doing. Most of the time, just stopwatch face.
Well, how often are you changing the face on your watch?
Never.
How often?
Changed it once when I set my watch up and that's it.
Yeah.
Or you mean flick between it during the workout?
No, I mean setting it up, changing it on your...
Set it up once, yep. You?
Pretty rare. Like the only one I would change is if maybe if I'm jumping on the track, I might just get rid of like pace and just have lap time and heart rate, because I go more off just time than pace on the track.
Do you need heart rate on the track?
Depending on what session I'm doing, but yeah, like I don't pay too much attention to the heart rate on the track, but it's still just generally one of the settings that I have on my watch face for training.
It's always good to have a heart rate up. If the only problem is if you don't wear a heart rate and it goes back to your watch one, because then it just gives you terrible data and it annoys me when that happens. So I just turn that feature off, turn the wrist one off. And so I have like a heart rate face. I just have the generic heart rate screen, but it just shows nothing because I don't wear a heart rate at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I noticed a few people that I coach have done in the past, and this is like really bad in terms of trying to work out or trying to get into a nice consistent rhythm, is they don't have lap pace. They have like just current pace, and it's like that just moves it around so much. Whereas if you have lap pace, it at least just evens itself out over the course of a rep, and it's much more consistent. So definitely get rid of current pace, because that is just so inaccurate, and it just jumps around massively.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
And K-splits?
Yeah. No, I don't have K-splits on for set. Well, yeah, actually, that's another good point, Brady, because sometimes
when you set time-based stuff.
Yeah, if I say a 7-minute rep and people have K-splits on, I see their splits as what they've run for the first K and then whatever's remaining in terms of minutes.
Manually hit it.
So yeah, so turn auto lap off, or turn K-splits off for sessions, so that you just get like what you've run for that whole lap.
Unless you're doing like 1K on 1K float.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's handy for that. And then,
What about racing?
Mm.
Marathon's a bit different.
Well, yeah, the marathon's probably the only one that I really probably focus on the watch so much. I feel like for everything shorter than a marathon, it's probably a bit more to feel. Like I wear the watch, but I don't really pay too much attention to it. So like the half last weekend, I just had like my normal training screen. So it would have just been like lap pace and time and probably distance or something. And so I would just every now and then look down to just see what the average is for the whole race. Whereas for the marathon, it's very much probably take manual laps every sort of 5K. And even then, I probably focus more on lap time. Don't worry so much about like lap pace or average pace.
Yeah, because that would be out. I always used to just manually lap it every 5K. But then Ballarat, when I accidentally left my K-splits on, best thing I ever did. I had fun doing that day.
Yeah, because it went well.
Yeah, I know.
It's the opposite effect if it goes poorly. It's the last thing you want to be fucking reminded of every K.
Yeah. But then they were still out as well, so I was kind of like, yeah, you kind of taking them, I don't know, with a bit of a grain of salt. You're like, could be right, could not be right. You know they're in the ballpark, but you don't rely on them too much.
I'd probably still have, for a marathon, I'd probably still have just average pace. Like assuming it's a marathon where the GPS is not going to be like absolutely crazy out,
Chicago.
just an average pace for the whole race, but it would be very much lap time and sort of memorizing what those sort of splits are for each or individual Ks in a 5K period, and then just pressing lap again and then sort of going again.
What about...
Yeah, I lap off the markers. And just look at lap pace. So I just look at the pace that I've been running that current 5K block in.
But so that sort of still relies on the GPS being like fairly accurate. If you're going
but you're
in a pace,
you're in a marathon. Like
yeah,
if you're making drastic changes to your pace and you're doing something wrong, like it shouldn't be. If you shouldn't be running 5K blocks more than sort of 10 seconds different if it's flat. And if you're going slower than that, then you would know that you have slowed down. And if you're going faster than that, then you would probably know that you're going faster than that. like your feel would dictate. It's not something to guide you. It's just something for me to do, because I want to just see. Like, I'm not interested. The 5K previous to that shouldn't have too much effect on the 5K that I'm in.
Yeah.
There's never going to be 100% GPS accuracy. You just, and even if there is, you'll just never know if it was or not.
What about an easy jog?
I got a stopwatch only.
Yeah, so
stopwatch for me.
Or heart rate. Or heart rate.
Yeah, well, yeah. If I run a heart rate, I'll run a heart rate and stopwatch.
Yeah. Croaks? Pace.
Just
pace.
The same as my
current pace,
just the same.
lap pace, overall pace.
Average pace for the week.
Average pace, activity time, and distance.
Yeah.
And sometimes heart rate, but I don't really wear a heart rate monitor for easy runs. It's more just the sessions, and even recently I haven't been wearing them that much.
Very good.
You got the segment, the Strava heads up, the alert. So you get to the bottom of a hill and it counts you in, and then as you go up it gives you a like real time account of your position on the leaderboard.
Isn't not the leaderboard.
No, is it Garmin Connect? I thought it was Strava.
I don't know.
You just have to. You might just have to favorite a few segments around town, and I think if you favorite the segment, then it might add it to your watch. Yeah, I keep hitting this one segment, and I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to get this today, but I really want to go for it. Like, it really sucks you in, because you're going up and you're like, I'm only 10 seconds behind. I could have a ping at this. It's just not good for you.
No, not a good training tool, that one.
Not at all.
Nah.
Oh, good question. Moving on. Whispers. I haven't got any whispers, but I was just thinking, after that Haftu interview, like, that training group has clearly got a no dickhead policy. Every single one of those people that we've had on the show are just well-spoken, like, very modest. Like, they just seem to very smart. They've all got, like, degrees and stuff. I was just thinking there could be something. Buy stock in that training group, Croaks, if that's something you want to do, because they're smart individuals on that team, and they seem to be very, very well spoken. So that's Brady's observation of the week after Haftu really impressed me 20 minutes ago. Any of you boys got anything?
Whispers.
You agree? They seem very switched on there. Mm. Handle themselves very well.
No, I agree. with you. It's a selective group, isn't it? You've got to apply, I guess, or they reach out and they target who they want.
And even the way he's talking, like, he's kind of in a development team, like, it must be. Yeah, I'm not sure how it works with how many spots they've got, but you'd assume that if he keeps running the way he's running, he slots into one of those spots.
I reckon he'd be belting a few of those boys up in training. the apprentice out there smoking them.
Yeah, over their contracts. But no, that's all on the whisper front for me. Moose on the loose.
Oh, had a few ready to go. Pulled the trigger, but we decided not to. It's going to murder a few people, but we'll just leave it. We're going to be. Should we talk about something that confuses you, Brady? You got something that confuses you?
Brady's confused. Do I? This is when I'm like, what have I said during the week, Croaks, that I'm not sure what.
I've got one for you.
I got kind of one too. I want to get to something.
Yeah, I got a philosophy or a theory out there. I'm calling it.
Oh, so have I.
Well, Zach named it for me. He called it the Albert Park false economy, and it refers to. I was talking to Dave Ridley about this on that Nike run, because he's a Nike coach. He wouldn't
like this though, would he?
Oh, he didn't like this, but this is real talk here. I'm like, let's just take the Mango Boys as an example, right? These blokes out here running craziest shit you ever seen in workouts. And then two of them run 69 and one of them may have run 68, luckily. I'm like, this is something wrong with Albert Park. There's a vortex where your watch goes crazy, or you turn into a professional runner. Every time you hit there, you turn into bloody Brett Robinson. And you just start absolutely smoking workouts. But I reckon there's a bit of there's something going wrong down there. There's something that creates this superstar athlete. But then you get to the race and you run 68, 69 when you're in 62 shape. You guys noticed that on Strava?
Mate, it got us as well. Remember we did that workout before Osaka?
Definitely got us.
We were all in 2:16 shape for Osaka, and we all had shit ones.
It's the Formula One effect. It's where the F1 is. Maybe there's some still like petrol fumes or something you suck in, and away you go.
Yeah, maybe it's a GPS hole, and we're just running slower than we think.
Bit of industrial estate about it.
Yeah, maybe a few too many corners, maybe too many GPSs out there that just confuses them. Not sure.
A massive thank you to all the people that did rock up Saturday morning, though. From all accounts, it was a great day. I was planning to get there, but I couldn't in the end, but it looked great on social media. And yeah, if you're one of those people that did a workout in the build up to Gold Coast, thanks for coming along. Hopefully Asics and Zach looked after you. But yeah, watch your GPS data around there, Moose reckons.
Don't get caught up.
My theory is I'm a big good morning person when I go for a run because I live in a regional town and I think it's what we should be doing. I understand that you're not going to do it running around the 10 when there's like 600 people to say good morning to. But I've got this theory now that you are 80%, don't ask me how I got that number, 80% less likely to get a good morning back if the person is carrying a takeaway coffee. So if you see someone approaching you, you're in a regional town and you want to say good morning to them and they've got a takeaway coffee, just be prepared. You might not get a good morning back. It's a trend I'm seeing in Melbourne, boys. One. Yeah, look out for it. Like I think those people are more like, oh, we've got to exercise, but I'm only doing it if I've got a takeaway coffee. And they're just not as cheery in the morning compared to the person that's getting along, bit of a power walk strut on. They're much more happier to give you a good morning in the morning.
The least likely good morning you're going to get is if they've got a set of birdwatching binoculars around their neck. You are zero chance of any type of acknowledgement whatsoever. I think. Yeah, no, it still remains. It's still a fact. You are a pest to them.
Them.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. What's coming up, Craig, between now and next week? What are you doing?
A bit of work, bit of training. I think I've got a hockey carnival thing to go to this weekend with Lil.
Oh, yeah? She playing rep hockey?
No, it's like hook into hockey, but it's just like, I don't know, the different clubs are having a little bit of a, those gala days, bit of a round robin.
I love that we're talking about like parent helpers at kinder, kids hockey, Auskick, Blippi. The show's very, very much developed over the years, boys. What are you doing, Moose?
No, I work today, boys. No public holiday rates. No public holiday charges on your shoes today.
How'd you go last week? Did you get a lot of feedback about those fees?
Oh, yeah. People loved the chat. Anyone in retail were like, finally someone's telling it like it is. Bloody hospitality gets all these beautiful little incentives and retail's the odd man out, left behind, forgotten about, little lost child. So I'm here for the retail people. I'm there. And
a lot of good DMs about that and Moose on the Loose about people being like oversensitive.
Oh, yeah. Well, that one's hard to ignore, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, are they for us or against us, those DMs?
No, for us. Like, yeah, good on you. Yeah. I reckon he's going to come top 3 in that runner's world, like most influential people of 2024 Croaks this year. It's going to be a year.
Zaka. No, Zaka has got that podium tied up. That bloke's been everywhere. You should have seen the Nike kit he was rocking.
Yeah, he sent me a picture of it. He sent me a picture of like, you could just go and just pick whatever you wanted off the rack.
That guy has been aligned with so many brands, I've lost count.
Big Mizuno man at one point. Then he was on fella.
Ernie Old.
Ernie Old.
Boy. He's on the posters.
Some photos on their website.
Oh, man. Around town.
Talking about him and brands, he has been doing a lot of work with Lululemon for our live show at the Gold Coast. Tickets are now available to the public. I think they went public today. So if you're going to be at the Gold Coast Marathon Festival, come and see us do a live show up there at the QT on the Sunday afternoon. There is a celebration afterwards, a few drinks, a bit of tapas. Good chance to mingle with people who've been racing over the weekend. We're in the process of organising some special guests. We will record like our weekly show up there, but we'll have a few guests popping in as the show goes. Also, I think we've got a shakeout run on the Saturday morning, boys. Us 3 and Jess Stenson, so that'll be a bit of fun. Looking forward to running on the concrete of Surface Paradise just for a little shakeout run before the big dance on the Sunday. Put those things in your diary. We'll have more details, or check the link on our social media. They'll be there if you want to sign up, get yourself a ticket. Not sure how tickets are going, but Zach will give us an update for that next week. Can't imagine there's too many left, so probably don't leave it to the last minute. Because I do remember people last year were trying to get tickets on the day, and it was blocked off. I think Lululemon needed it locked in, like all that stuff before the day. So keep an eye out for that one.
And celebrate afterwards too. That'll be fun.
Yeah, someone did point out today when the reel went out, Croaks. Someone sent me a message saying, "Where's Croaks and all this footage?" And I'm like, "That's right, he's not there, but he will be this year. He will be this year." All right, boys. Thanks for your time again. See us next week. We'll do it all again.
See you, boys.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank you again to this episode's sponsor, Aid Station. Runners, if you're looking for a one-stop shop for your endurance needs this marathon season, Aid Station has you covered. Use the code RUN10 to get 10% off on your first order. Go get your gels and hydration from aidstation.com.au today and make every run your best run.